What's going on, y'all? Another week, another geek. We're back at with another episode of the Why I'm Geeked show. This is episode 169. 169. That's not how the song go. But Chris, how you feeling today, Brody?
What's up, man? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. For this pod, we got. Uh, I wouldn't say it's an anticipated movie, but one of the movies that's gonna get the ball rolling this year in the 2025. So I'm doing good. G, how you doing?
I'm excellent, bro. Excellent. Yeah, I think that's a perfect way to describe it because it's more so like, and by we're talking about Captain America, Brave New World.
Brave New World.
Brave New World, yeah, to be specific. Captain America 4. And it's more so like almost a chore. It's like, oh, gotta go see Cap 4, because it's like we already got the show, and then now it's just like the culmination of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and essentially into like, okay, now big screen, what they got, So personally, I didn't come in with no super high expectations, other than like, let's just see what they're gonna do. But I want to see a Red Hulk, and that's it. Like that's kind of where the trailer left me. But like, what were your expectations going into this thing?
I don't know if I talked about it a lot on the pods, bro. I really wasn't really looking forward to this movie. The trailers to me just didn't really grab me, and no lie, I was kind of like, I don't really know what they're doing with this movie. And they had the whole was it New World Order or something like that, the original title?
I don't remember.
Before Brave
That
New
sound
World.
good.
It was a different title, and it just screamed of like, man, this is gonna be one of those bottom tier Marvels.
One of those ones.
So every time it appeared, the trailers and stuff, it was just like, ooh, action movie. Oh, I'll come see this.
Yeah.
Even with the tease of the Red Hulk. So I was just like, I'm gonna see it, but I wasn't too excited about it. But it was on Valentine's Day weekend, so it was like, hey, I'm gonna have something else to watch that weekend, and that'll be a pretty cool weekend. But leading up to this movie, how are you feeling, G?
I was more so like indifferent, bro. Cause like I wasn't pressed. I literally saw it today. So I saw it on
fresh
right before the pod. Not right before, but the day of the pod. Like you said, it was Valentine's Day weekend. There was also Katsucon, so I was at Katsucon over the weekend.
Crazy.
And,
a traveler, man.
No, bro, it's up the road. It's literally up the road. So I knew I was gonna go see it, but outside of that, it was more so like, okay, like it sucks to say this, but it's like you gotta earn that hype, and they haven't necessarily done that. And it's not anything against Anthony Mackie or Sam Wilson or this cast and crew itself. It's more so the position Marvel has put them in by killing everybody off and restarting. It's just like you got to get through these moments to get to the big stuff. So it was more so like, all right, got second movie on the checklist, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? As far as like Marvel stuff this year, it's like the thing that most people are most excited for is Fantastic Four, and then I think it would be Captain America: Brave New World, and then Thunderbolts, which I saw a trailer for today, and I'm like, yo, this could be Disney Plus. But
yeah, I feel it.
It's like this movie has a little bit of the Marvel charm that I was hoping for me. So, as far as expectations, they weren't super high, but I was still excited to just go see a new Marvel movie, But I guess, where we can start with this whole convo is just like, yo, was it too easy, bro? That's the best way I could put it. Was this movie just too easy? Cause they wrapped it up like a bow, and I don't know how you feel about it, but personally, I feel like they played it safe in the sense of like, all right, we don't want to disturb the peace too much. When I say disturb the peace, I'm saying like the Marvel universe as a whole, because for one, this is Captain America, but also we want to start laying that foundation of where we finna go. You know, and they did one thing that I was hoping they did that they get bonus points for, and that they finally addressed the Celestial. So, how do you feel about that, bro? Like, what do you think?
I'ma just sort of give out like how I feel about the movie early, just because I feel like if I
Mm-hmm.
don't, it's gonna like weigh on the podcast.
Gonna drag on? Okay,
Um, yeah, it's gonna drag on.
okay,
Uh, I think it's a solid Marvel movie. I think this is
yeah,
exactly a normal generic Marvel movie is. It doesn't really go much higher. It doesn't scrape the bottom barrel of Marvel.
mm-hmm.
It's somewhere in the middle,
Mm,
and I think it answers some questions and then also just introduces some stuff like better than an origin story movie, but definitely not as good as like a sequel movie or something like that from Marvel.
mm-hmm.
Um, and I just can't help but feel like while I did enjoy the movie,
Yeah,
um,
was it good?
yeah, at the end of the day, it just kind of feels like all right,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
it's not the best. I think that's how I feel overall. Like
Mm-hmm.
about every single aspect the movie comes, it's not the best, but I don't think it's really really bad. I saw some rumors before I even went and saw it. Like the Rotten Tomato
Mm,
score got leaked already before I even saw the movie. Um, and I walked out of the theater actually pretty impressed by the movie. And then I learned more about it as in they did reshoots. And that
mm.
kind of connected with me too. I was like, "Oh,
It did
that
look weird. Yeah.
certain parts of it did look really strange."
Yeah. Okay.
But once I kind of pieced it all together, I was like, "You know what? I really didn't know what to expect from Brave New World." And like I said, I wasn't really hyped from it, but I walked away thinking, "You know, it's middle of the pack Marvel or generic Marvel, and it's not the worst Marvel I've ever seen."
Yeah.
Um, and then to address your Celestial point, I needed it.
Yeah.
I didn't know when they were gonna do it because every time I looked at um Fantastic Four, I just didn't believe they would address the Celestials there at all.
Mm-hmm.
And at least um Falcon and the Winter Soldier was more of like a bigger international plot, so maybe they would have got to it in this movie. But I
Yeah.
kind of didn't. I thought it was gonna be more of the scrolls still, and that was a big fake out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm just glad they finally addressed it and just said, "Hey, it has adamantium in it, and this is like its introduction, adamantium's introduction into the MCU, and we'll get more about it later."
Yeah.
Because
To the greater public, essentially.
yeah, because it's been like 5 movies. I mean, Eternals was quite a while ago, bro.
Yeah. I mean, they had the skeleton, Wolverine skeleton, in Deadpool and Wolverine in the little
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
not the
yeah,
Backstreet,
yeah,
but in sync moment. But it never is like, oh, this is adamantium. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, yeah.
you said that amazingly too. I can't say it, bro.
Adam Mantium.
Adamantium.
Yeah.
I'm gonna butcher it, but um, I don't. I lost my point. I lost my point. But I think as far as Celestials, right? Uh, I think as far as the Celestials go, like the fact that they addressed it says they're listening to the people. As far as like, yo, we need to know what this is gonna even be
Yeah.
and do. And like you're saying, like with the Fantastic Four, from what we done seen from the trailer, like Galactus is a whole
Thing
other
already.
thing. Yeah, like there's a
Yeah.
whole other thing that it's like we'll get there when we get there, and it's still not even clear, like, you know, timeline wise, like where we're gonna be at when we meet the Fantastic Four, stuff like
Yep.
that. But I think for this movie, yeah, the sentiment that I was gonna go with later on that might not necessarily equal the same score because we score things differently is that Captain America Brave New World is mid. But not in a negative sense. You know, mid sounds negative, but it's just like you're saying, like it's just like all right. Like, you know, it's nothing to really write home about. And I didn't know that they did reshoots. It makes sense because even when I was watching, I was like, this looks weird, bro. Why is this
Yeah,
rendered
yeah.
like this? You know?
Yep.
And even in some of the action scenes, like there's moments where I'm like, oh, that was tough. And then other moments where I was like, what's going on? Like, who did this part?
Yeah.
So, I think as far as the cast goes, though, I think the cast did well, like way better than I was expecting, as far as like how they clicked. Because regardless of how you feel about the characters specifically, and we can get into those later on, I think they
Yeah.
played the characters well for what they got. You know, because you can only say the lines that you get. So, I think for everybody that was involved in this movie, heavy, I'm like, yo, this was pretty good. Outside of Joaquin Torres, bruh, because his whole personality was being from Miami. I don't know why they set that man up like that, but it was funny. I like the romance aspect to it and like the ending, um, ending sentiment. But I'll say that bro had no personality that was like, oh, I like this character. You know, it was more so to play off a Cap. So, and that's a good thing too, because now I'm calling him Cap. You know, like I really see it now. Like after watching the first show, I still wasn't really believing it,
Agree.
really. But like after seeing this and then having a little bit more knowledge into the comics, I'm like, yo, this is exactly the way. Like he's doing the character justice because of the things that they have to tackle, as far as like, you know, what eats away at him and stuff like that. Because he doesn't have like we've seen in the show, like his family is small, so it's like not much that people can like do to him. Essentially, it's more about like his inner battle of feeling like I'm Cap, you know. But
Definitely.
you want to dive right into the movie now that we got like the overall stuff out the way.
Yeah. One more thing.
Okay.
I'm probably in this podcast. I'm probably gonna come off as defending the movie a lot because
Mm-hmm.
I generally do think I enjoyed the movie, compared to a lot of the stuff that I saw about it.
I haven't
And
seen nothing. Oh.
yeah, like I do not think this was actually a bad Marvel movie. I
Mm-hmm.
just think it is a Marvel movie, and a lot of people are more upset because they feel like, um, maybe it's just because it's a fourth Captain America movie, we should be at a higher tier,
Mm-hmm.
and probably what we're gonna get to in a lot, story wise. Um, could there have been a better movie in this? But it just kind of feels like they got the formula, they used it, and it shoots out a generic movie.
Mm-hmm.
And if the original movie was worse than this, then I'm not too mad because I do think
Mm-hmm.
there could have been room for a way worse movie here.
Yeah.
Where I was like, yeah, we wasted time. We wasted a lot of time with this one.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, especially like thinking back to like Eternals and Captain Marvel. Like
I
there's
like that part.
there
It's
yeah,
bad, but I like
I know
it.
you do.
Yeah.
Uh, there, I just feel like there is something there when I watched it that I was like, you know what, it's a Marvel movie. I'm cool with it. I'm not
Yeah.
too down on this, what they did. So
It's hard to hate on it. Like that's the
yeah,
sentiment
I
that
think
I
people are
got.
taking it overboard. Like, yo, this is some of the worst stuff. I'm like,
Yeah, like
ah,
every movie can't be Infinity War, bro.
like
You
like
know?
some stuff in Quantum
Like,
Mania was not that great. That did not include Kang. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
Kang really
exactly.
brought a lot of power and punch to that movie. The
Mm-hmm.
Ant-Man side, it was like,
Outside of the
I don't know.
jokes, you know,
Yeah, it was
what we
like,
really
I don't
got.
know. So,
Yeah.
but let's get into it. Let's get into this movie.
Okay. Frame one. The deal. The wow. arms deal. I don't know. The adamantium deal, essentially.
Yeah.
The intro to this movie. How did you feel about just how they introduced Sam and Cap, and then our first introduction to Giancarlo Esposito's character. I forgot his name, but he was a seller, and he's just like super famous actor, and now he's in the Marvel universe.
It was cool. It had that feeling of like a espionage type show.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, and like, oh, what kind of secret deal is going on, and Cap's got to figure out and stop them, and what's in the container and stuff like that. The
Yeah.
only main drawback I had from the beginning was like you kind of touched on it, like the fight sequence. Sometimes it didn't feel like it was hitting as it normally would.
Yes, bro.
But I really liked how they showed off the suit and
Mm-hmm.
Falcon.
Wait for it.
Now Falcon now being Cap, and incorporating both of them to be like, this is the new Captain America without the super serum. Like, how?
Yeah.
Because that's just a big question overall. Like, now you're Captain America, but you don't got the super serum, super soldier serum.
It's like
How are we really
character.
fighting?
Yeah, it's like pivotal to his character.
Yeah,
Like,
so it's like we need that power boost. We need to see something, because
mm-hmm.
one of the main believable things is like, can you even fight against what we've already seen?
Yeah.
And of course, the easy answer is vibranium in his wings, and now he can like shoot it out, retract it, bend it, and it makes him way tougher. But we also see this Cap is weaker within the first frame. That he's still human. He could still get hit, get hurt. He's not as strong. So it's just like a give and take of introducing a brand new character, which I thought was fine. I thought that's cool. He's more super suit than super hero in a way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You might trademark that. I like that. Okay. I think for me, that first initial dive into the wait for it, I thought that was going to be a little bit more epic, bro. And maybe because like the earth didn't move and it was just wind gusts, I was like, okay, so then how strong are your legs? Like that.
Yeah, that was a question.
That was where my cause I've been playing. I just finished beating Marvel Spider-Man 2, and every time this man take off, he break the ground. You know what I'm saying? But when he dive down, he don't break the earth like that. So I'm like, yo, like, what's the trick? There's got to be a trick to it. But it still was a cool scene. I think both suits were like really good looking. I think the bluer suit is my favorite, more so than all like the chatter white giant. But yeah, I think that like as far as like his fighting style and all of the combat scenes go, it really lends to the novelty of it being Sam Wilson, him just being a guy. I found myself saying that throughout the whole movie to myself, and I was like, man, he's just a guy, bro. Like, he's just out there,
Yeah.
And I think it's just as, or technically even more impressive that he can do all the things that he can do, because he said it in the movie, like he's always got to be on point. Like, he can't mess up, like he doesn't heal fast. This man, like what's the name, asked him like, how do you take an axe to the gut and still be walking? Like Kevlar or something. I don't know what he said, something Kevlar, but I was like, dang, I didn't even think about that. Kevlar in your shirt, in your everyday wear. But I kept finding myself like, yo, why you keep taking the suit off? That thing should just be on you and just like, whenever
major
you need
weakness.
it, So I think there's that, and there's a little bit of like, nobody. I'm super famous, so nobody out here is really finna mess with me like that in broad daylight. But if they do, I can handle it. So it's like, it's a little bit, to me, it's a little bit of Anthony Mackie in that part. Because Anthony Mackie is like uber confident guy, and it's like it's super funny when he does all of his pressers and stuff like that. But as far as like the intro scene, like the whole introduction to him having a sidekick in the new Falcon, I was like super excited for that because I'm like, yo, like this is gonna be cool. It's like even though we don't got Bucky here, we got somebody for him to bounce off of because it's like he's just a guy. He can't do it all himself, you know?
Yeah.
And even Cap had a team the whole time. So I think that's part of the character is establishing those relationships and fighting for each other and making sacrifices and stuff like that. But I think for me, like just like the intro and kind of the whole movie, like it was kind of just too easy, bro. Like it was like, you know, to have the amount of experience that you have to fought in alien invasions, I feel like this story was a little like it was the fact that nobody thought that this was like that a little strange and never get past that really. I was like, okay, like I see where we're going, but the writing was on the wall from the jump. And if you seen the trailer, you could tell where things were going. So it's kind of like I was sitting there waiting the whole time for that part to happen, as far as like the White House attack or whatever.
Oh, you're talking about the Red Hulk?
With with Isaiah Bradley. So in the
Oh,
trailer, you
okay.
see Isaiah Bradley jumping from the White House. So obviously he's getting framed for something again. We don't know why, but that's kind of where going into the movie, I was like, okay, like that's when the movie's actually going to start, you know? So like, because of the role that they put Isaiah Bradley in as far as like a mentor, I guess you could say father figure, brother figure, whatever you want to call it, like OG, um, he needs something to fight for, you know? So it's like, I kind of was just waiting for that part to happen. And then it's like, okay, now the movie's actually starting.
Mm-hmm.
So like, that was my first initial take of the movie, was that things was just like, it's moving almost too smoothly, where it's like, there was a little lack in mystery there that finally came on when it was like, oh, when they started doing a debrief of the attack, and it was like, okay, now this is what's going on, mind control, stuff like that. Like once we got into that part, I was like, okay, now I'm locked in. Now I'm locked in, because I was like, before that, I was just kind of waiting. You know, like all that stuff is cool. Like you get to see the characters do their thing, but you know, if you've seen Captain America show or Falcon and the Winter Soldier show, you already done seen him do that kind of before. You know,
and I think that's where I'm kind of confused with a lot of the reception of it, because like you got to think, Falcon and the Winter Soldier came out a while ago, and anything Marvel does on the big screen has to coincide with just the movie timeline. The shows are supposed to be like added stuff, added context.
Yeah.
So all we know from the last stuff was Cap passed on the shield.
Yeah.
So this is a big fast forward for people. Like, okay, now we know Falcon is now Captain America. Yep. So what's he been up to? What's he doing? How? So a lot of the first part of it is, hey, this is the first super soldier. Hey, you know, he's really close to Cap. Sort of like a mentor, but then like it also has like this other deeper meaning of like, hey, the first super soldier was black and was tested on by the government, and you know, even Cap himself didn't trust the government, like
initially,
government to restrain. And here's the OG Cap, like, bro, they locked me up and did tests on me. Like, are you sure you want to be working with the government? Like, there's a lot of meaning right then and there that they had to express, because it's not only showing like how it was for the first super soldier who was tested on by the US government, but then also it follows up Captain's origin of, yo, he did not agree with the, was it
Sokovian, something like that.
Yeah, Sokovian Accords.
Yeah.
Like he was like, yo, if the government is telling us to do something, like and I don't agree with it. I'm not doing it.
Mhm.
So it was like both of in a way like Cap battling with both Steve Rogers' version and the OG Super
Mhm.
Soldiers version of are you sure you want to get going into uh getting to
Yeah.
bed with the government? Like
Yeah.
and
And just
and
a-
it
and
was
you
a
black.
bad dude.
And you black.
Yeah.
That's my
And,
part I was gonna say.
yeah, and it was a bad dude, bro. Like
Yeah. Thaddeus. His name Thaddeus, bro.
so then it has also that little political thing of, yo, can
Mhm.
I actually like turn the other cheek to this person who I
Yeah.
already don't trust?
Yeah.
And they were like, you know, this Cap is like, yo, I'm gonna give him a shot, you know,
Mhm.
but everyone else was like, bruh,
Bruh.
you sure? Like,
Yeah.
you sure? I don't even know if Cap would do this. Like,
Yeah.
but he's trying to find his own way, bridge his own way, and
Mhm.
you know, meet the president at like a middle ground. Like until he shows me that he's not good. Like
Yeah.
I gotta extend the branch. We gotta do something.
Mhm.
Um, so that's the weird thing because I just feel like the first part of the movie actually does a pretty good job of merging it,
Mhm.
introducing, showing what we need to see, how strong is Cap. Okay, he's still a person that can take hits, and then
Yeah.
also who like you're saying, who's his team?
Mhm.
Uh,
Who can he
how
trust?
is who can he trust? And then the whole premise of the whole show immediately was, yo, there's like a mole. There's like we gotta do some investigation going on here.
Yeah.
Some secret agent stuff. So it's like trying to feed all that into it.
Mhm.
And then I think they did a good job not having like the cartoony, marvelly villain up front. Like just make it boom, generic action espionage movie, and then let's feed people with the brand new Cap. Feed uh how he's
Yeah.
thinking, how he's feeling. And then
Because but
technically they merged a Hulk movie with this, with the
yeah.
main villain guy.
I was gonna say because by the time that we actually get to the main villain or the quote unquote mastermind behind everything, the man behind the curtain, you already done forgot, not forgot, but like they've already established the character enough to where it's like, oh nah, this is Cap. Everybody's addressing him as Cap. Like so, if there was any question, there shouldn't be one now. You could see like depending on what side of the fence you're on, you could see where the lines get crossed, and you can make your judgments at that point. But like you're saying, like as far as the whole espionage angle, that's to me where I'm like, okay, this could be something that's like really good for the MCU because like like we were both saying coming into this, like we didn't have super high expectations because of where Marvel has been.
Yeah.
And
It's like,
because
how's a Cap 4 gonna get there? Like, like in
right,
my mind, it
exactly.
was not gonna happen.
Exactly. And it's not Steve Rogers, it's Sam Wilson, just a guy, with a suit.
Yeah.
So it's like they kind of have to like rehone us in a little bit as an audience to be like, oh yeah, nah, like there's street level, you know, there's
Yep, you said this before. Yep.
there's
There's
different
like street level
levels.
bad guys and
Yeah, like there's different levels that all of these characters um fluctuate on because like on street level, Sam Wilson can run the show. But
yeah.
once we start involving aliens and all this other stuff, like there's not much that we can do. That's why I'm glad that um, yes, we had a Red Hulk in this movie, but that wasn't necessarily that wasn't the only focus. I want to say that wasn't the main focus, but that wasn't the only focus of the plot and
Yeah.
where they were taking us because it just would not make sense in nowhere, shape, or form did we ever think that Captain America is going to get to a point unless he got Thor's hammer where he can compete with the Hulk
Yep.
or a Hulk in general.
Yep.
So there's that was like one of the probably the key things that they had to solve. It's like, all right, we know we want to have this person in this movie. We've been building up his character in the shadows for a long time. Now when he pop up on screen, we got to make it make sense. And I think they did
Mhm.
that. you know. So it's like, as much as people might like, because I haven't really seen like the comments and stuff. I try to stay away from it until I make my videos and stuff like that, or we have more conversations. But from like what you're saying, like, I don't see how you can necessarily hate on the movie and say it's like, I don't know people saying this, but saying this, it could be like the worst Captain America movie, or the worst movie and they've seen in a minute, or not even go see it or whatever. When it's just like, factually, we actually look at like bar for bar, like it's not that far off. It's just the situation requires a different level of like expectations for what
Yeah,
we can
it's
see.
it's Captain America,
Yeah.
and then also it's technically like this Cap's first go.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, I'm just gonna say, if they never even introduced the Red Hulk in promotions, I think people would have walked
I think would
away
have been
feeling
better.
way better.
Yeah, 100%.
I think it would have been shocking.
But would people have gone to go see it is the question.
They would not have gone to go see it. And
Yeah.
and I think that's where
Yeah.
it's a problem with me, because like I said, I was not interested in this movie, but I
Mhm.
was gonna go see it because I'm a Marvel fanboy. So then
Right.
it's kind of like, if they would have held back that whole time, I'm like,
Mhm.
yo, this dude's actually gonna go Red Hulk.
Yeah.
Like, everything's matching up to, oh, gamma radiation.
Mhm.
The main bad guy is actually from the Hulk movie, which I forgot completely. But
Yeah. The leader.
they explain it enough that it's like, the whole I got a bigger surprise element doesn't really work because of the
Mhm.
trailers. I already seen the trailer. I already know a Red Hulk is gonna appear.
Yeah.
So it becomes like, when is this Hulk gonna appear? But when
Mhm.
if I just took that knowledge away, like the Cap scene at the Celestial thing is pretty good, but it's like a normal action type movie with a
Yeah.
superhero.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're stopping a missile here. Boom, my partner gets blown up.
Top Gun did it better, bro.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
like Top Gun does it better, but this is a Marvel kid version of it.
Mhm.
Kid wants to see them shoot down a missile, or all these cruisers launching missiles, stuff like that. These fighter jets
Yeah.
going left and right. Um,
Dogfights.
but then it's like, the
No animals were
Marvel
harmed.
experts and hardcore fans are like, oh, I want them to fight in the celestial head or on the island or blah blah blah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, to me, I'm glad they just had it there. They're mining the adamantium. We're
Mhm.
trying to get there, because in a bigger, better movie, that can be a location for something.
Yeah.
That can be somewhere Doom goes and sets up his empire, and then his land is where
Liberia.
the yeah, exactly. Like, I just feel like you got to realize that some of these movies that we've been getting are not great. They're
Mhm.
not great, and this
Mhm.
one is at least more of a baseline. That, yes, they threw in the Hulk. Yes, could we have gotten the Hulk in this to like make it merge? Maybe, but
Mhm.
they determined like, hey, we can wrap up an old movie, merge it with the new, and introduce Cap in his own like origin movie.
Mhm.
And I do think they did a fine job with it. And then when I think about reshoots, I'm like, yo, whatever their first movie had to be garbage. Like, had to be garbage. So to me, when I watched the movie, I was like, oh, that was fine. That was generic Marvel.
Yeah.
And then hearing like it was reshot, I'm like, yeah, that
Mhm.
that makes sense why it doesn't like pop. Like, it was concise. It was hitting all the points. The espionage story didn't go like all the way. It was like surface level.
Yeah.
Um,
Like the fact that Sabra was from the Red Room, she was a Black
yeah,
Widow, is enough for me
yeah. It's just like,
to be like, okay, now she mean business. Like, she bout that life,
yeah.
you know? Like,
But people want it to be more like, yo, this is the brand new blah blah blah. But it's just like,
mhm.
it's a widow. They just want you to know mentally that it's stronger than a normal like soldier who's going
Yeah.
with you, and
Gotta
they're
make it make
trained highly.
sense.
Yeah, and I'm just
Mhm.
like, these are throw-ins, because this is just like, what else do you want? You want just a normal person? Like,
Yeah.
them making a widow, they're trying to just like connect it more.
Mhm.
And I just feel like a lot of people are really nitpicking, like, unbelievable, not as good as Natasha, not as good as Lawrence Pugh. I can't remember her name.
Elena.
Elena. Yeah. I'm just like, it.
You'll never be
It's a
satisfied.
lot,
You'll never
bro.
be satisfied. You'll never be satisfied, bro.
Yeah,
You
because
know?
like you said, you made a great point. Like they're bringing us back down because we got to get this Cap all the way ready for Doomsday.
Yeah.
And showing off all his moves, like fully loaded, fully unstoppable in this movie would just be like, come on. But it was cool seeing like him being able to pierce the Hulk's skin.
Yeah.
Seeing how his vibranium could retract, spit out, come back, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But
well,
we
I
see
was
like
waiting for the wings to come back out like he got another set. That was hard.
Oh yeah, that been tough.
That was hard. That was hard. But it's like if you come at criticism like that, where it's like if they would have did this, that would have been tough. But a lot of people would be like, they didn't do this, so now this movie was butt. You know?
But like, think it's like we got to work up back to Doomsday, and it's like finally this one feels like more of a baseline. Like a big thing going forward with Sam is, bro, just take the serum. Like, we've seen this movie. You are not going to be equipped for what's to come, bro. You got to take the serum. You're getting bodied. You're getting hurt already on screen. But as a first movie, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need you being unstoppable the first movie.
Right. Because even if he doesn't take it, and because like in the comics, I forgot how it happens, but he does get a level up.
Yeah.
Like, I forgot what was the scenario, but he does get a level up. I don't know if it's serum specific, but it's like, okay, if he's not going to outright take it, we got to make it happen in a way that is even more interesting. Whereas the fact
to his character,
they make him take it, or it's like it's secretly given to him, or something
triggers him, and
or he gets affected by something, like, you know, not just like, oh man, like I need this serum, I wish I had some. Oh, they got some over here. Let me go get some.
Yeah, you know, I'm just like, bro, like I am just like,
Cap was fighting regular people, bro. For the most part, like in the movies, like when he's in that elevator, he fighting Hydra. You know.
Yeah.
So it's like I think we're still missing that like super espionage
for sure
overlord person like that he could be like looking into, but you know, it's like, yo, this is the first go. Like this is the first one. You know?
Yeah, and we're just not there yet where we can do a
see
stand.
That he can do it.
Yeah, we got to see that Cap is a legit fighter first of all.
Yeah.
And they clearly wanted to set up the world in this fashion where adamantium exists. Pretty much the United States is in disarray. kind of a little bit too close to home. Because there was a lot of political agendas with this movie. I was like, yo, okay, Disney. But there's like clear headways to like why the incoming invasion or whatever's going to happen is going to be very, you know, I think they say enhanced in this movie. They keep going back between like enhanced and like superhuman and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just a very different world in which mutants might be looked down upon. And I think that's fine. I just think everyone wants this movie to be the most epic thing ever.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was cool to have the Red Hulk. I thought it was cool to have Cap do his own thing. You did bring a point. Was it too easy? Yeah. Definitely too easy.
Like it didn't take him one time to talk no juice on him and down. It took him two. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he was able to do it.
They traced the phone and went straight to the location where the bad guy was.
Yeah.
Like, that was it. That was
easy.
That was easy work.
And my whole thing is like, he didn't even have to get caught if he didn't want to. But he had to say something to somebody's face So it's like that was his one plan. That's all he had. But he can mind control anybody. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying? If he got the right equipment. But it's like,
Yep.
I didn't get him the first time. You know what? It's all good. I'm gonna let you
And they
know.
did try to do like because the previous Captain movies kind of have that feeling of like outside forces just trying to manipulate the
Hmm.
situation.
Hmm.
Like what was his name? It started with a Z.
Zemo.
Yeah, Zemo. He
Mhm.
was just trying to manipulate Iron Man
Loki.
the whole time.
Oh, Iron Man. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh and cause division within Civil War,
Avengers.
within the Avengers, and let them tear each other apart. And they
Hmm.
just did like a pseudo worse version in this one where it was like, oh, you're trying to give this dude a chance, and he's never gonna change, even though he
Hmm.
ultimately does change, and
Yeah.
uh, yeah, tries to be better. I think that's the main thing. It's like he
Yeah.
was trying to be better,
Intent. Yeah.
but he's
He's
still
off
gotten
the
hit.
Zans.
Yeah. But they did that. It's just not like in the best way possible. So it's like, cool. What this movie's better, this movie's better, this movie's better. And then it's like, here we're at. We're right here. We're not down at the bottom, bro. Like
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah. And even if you want to say this is the worst Captain America movie out of the four, I'm okay with that because other American movies are pretty good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like I get it, but it's like to say it's the worst in the way that people
Like two
say
of
it.
them are
It's
pretty
like
up there,
that
bro.
is besizing it. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
and
saying? Like,
that's kind of what I want to come away with it because I'm probably gonna feel like I'm defending it really hard on the internet. I'm just like,
mhm.
y'all just hating anything that's not a 10 out of 10 when it comes to Marvel. Like,
Yeah, I get it.
and
Soapbox.
we'll see what uh Fantastic Four does because I feel it already. Like, oh, they got to go crazy against Galactus to win me back, and I'm like,
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I don't think it's gonna be good.
I
Like,
mean, like I said, I saw the thing and I was like, uh oh,
yeah, literally
we'll
the thing.
see.
Yeah. So I don't know, but okay. Let's just step off the defendant stand real quick and let's talk about some of the flaws a little bit that was like actual flaws. At least for me.
Oh,
I'll say that. Um I think Samuel Stearns, aka the leader, if you play Marvel Snap or just know more about because that's the only reason why I know who the leader is.
mm,
Um I feel like we were saying earlier, it was way too easy and I don't understand why they allowed him to get caught. I understand why they chose him as a character because it's like, yo, like we were saying before, like there's street level characters. Like for something like a Captain America movie, having somebody that has mind control versus it being somebody like you can actually physically fight at the end of the movie, there's two different goals in that, you know?
mm,
So I think for this movie, having him be in it is cool, but I think the way they went about um like just how he was moving towards the end after he left the facility. Um, God, what they called it? It was like Echo something. It was
yeah,
like I forgot the name of it, but how he was just pulling up and he could just like seemingly take control of anybody whenever he needed to, and then all of a sudden I can't do that no more. Like I played all the cards in my hand, and now I'm just here to get captured. You know, because it's like he just wanted to see the look in his face, but if he would have never pulled up the cat to gloat, that would have never happened. You know,
yeah,
and he
yeah.
would have never went to the thing in time, and Hulk would have just did what he was supposed to do. But it's like for me, it's like I'm glad they didn't kill him off, but I'm also kind of upset that it was like they nipped him in the bud. Like it was just like, all right, we wrote everything we could write about him as far as like what he can do in this one story, but it's just like he had all the power and he did it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see it. It's just kind of like it felt like when
It
the
was Hulk
Hulk didn't
time. It was Hulk
turn.
time. Like,
Yeah, when the Hulk didn't turn at the battle at
yeah,
Celestial Island,
yeah,
he was then like formulating his plot rather quickly. Like in his mind, it was like a 90% certainty that he would transform on
mm,
that carrier and go crazy and show the world. But then he knew like he's right there on the edge. I can just push him to the brink if I just blurt this out.
yeah,
Yeah, he could have stayed away, but I think overall they feel like if we capture him, I'm just thinking movie wise. If we capture him, we can bring him back in case we need someone super smart to calculate our odds with other stuff, in the future to show that
yeah,
we have this other like evil brainiac behind the scenes. Because if he just plays that song and makes him Hulk out right there at the White House and then just
hmm
disappears in the universe, uh, we're at the point in Marvel where you can't be having this many
bad
random
guys.
people
Yeah,
like just popping back up. Like if they're
yeah,
all in the raft or whatever,
hmm
that's different because that facility gets worse and worse and worse. And like say that don't break out, and
hmm
that could be a whole
Now
movie
you're
in and
gonna
of
have a,
itself.
yeah, yeah. Now
But
I get that.
but it was like, yeah, he's gloating, but it just kind of felt like my plan didn't work because he did that weird scream. My plan didn't work at Celestial
Yeah,
Island, so let me just go do this right here. And I think the payoff of that just sucks because we knew there was a Red Hulk. Like when
yeah.
he's
We
talking to
already knew.
Cap,
Yeah,
yeah, when he's talking to Cap, there's still that hint of
it's
like,
like half
yo,
baked.
what does he mean? But if we
Yeah,
never knew there was a Red Hulk, it's like, oh wow, that
hmm
was that was crazy.
yeah,
I get it now. But because we're just waiting the whole time and we literally saw the scene where he's like already red, it's kind of like
yeah.
you got to chop those around or move them around better.
hmm Yeah, and it's like if you're gonna have him as that being that guy, like I'd rather it be like the whole time. Because when it got to the point where it was like, all right, it's Hulk time, it was just Hulk time, and it was just like, all right, we could just forget about this guy now. Like it doesn't even
Yeah,
didn't even matter that we spent half of the movie trying to figure out who he is, figure
who
out
he
his
is. Yeah,
motives, and then figure out how all of his stuff works. It's just like
that's
they
the
did
weak part, bro.
they did so much work to get like this man was orchestrating hits within the prison, bruh. Like
Yep.
so you show me what you can do, and then it was like, nah, I can't do it no more. I just like I said, like he used all the cards in the deck. He ran out,
Yeah.
and it's like I don't know.
Which they kind of did show on like in his little lair that he had just those guards, those
hmm
people.
It
He
was
was
very
planting those
specific.
gamma
Yeah.
pills that also saved the guy's life, the president's
hmm
life. So it was like very specific and targeted.
Yep.
Um, and it just shows like sometimes they show him as a super genius, but the plot can only go so far because he's so smart. He believes this plot is gonna work exactly like this.
hmm
And then when it doesn't, it's kind of like still like,
Yeah.
well, really all I want to do is for him to Hulk out. And if he's Hulks out
I
here,
just want
it's
to
the
ruin
same
his
thing.
legacy. Yeah.
Yep. It's just like ruin his legacy. So is the villain weak? Yeah. Do we spend too much time trying to figure him out? Yeah.
hmm
And was the movie better when it was like, who is this? Who's pulling the strings? It was. But once we realized it was him and he was popping up at the training facility, killing off that one friend
Yeah.
that
That's all.
told him
But that's my
scammers, it's
that's my
like,
point. Because it's like he's like, yeah, you thought you about to send this message, but you're not. And then
yeah, it's not as cool as they
I
think.
actually, you know what? I'm gonna go send this message because at
Yeah.
this point, it's like my plan was ruined, but I can still get some gratification of him, like just
Yeah.
going crazy in DC, um, which I didn't need to be there for. But I don't know. It's definitely portions of it's like hard cut, you know.
Yeah, it's
And
it's
it's
just
because he
like
got the suit.
very
Because he got the suit, he can get wherever he need to,
yeah,
fast. But it's still like,
weak sauce.
yeah. But what something that was not weak were the cameos. I really enjoyed the Bucky cameo because I was not expecting him to be in this movie, even though I should have. Like when he popped up, I was like, I should have known he was going to be in this just because of the show. But when he was there, he wasn't there for a long time, but he said some really impactful things. And I think for me, the thing that stuck out the most, like I was saying earlier, is that, Sam Wilson is just a guy, right? But that's part of the reason why Cap chose him. And, when he said that looking at Steve Rogers as Captain America, it gave people hope. But looking at Sam as Captain America, it gives something for people to aspire to. And then they call back to that at the end when Joaquin was like, I wanted to be like you. I was like, oh, that was good. That was a good callback right there. And we don't get that moment unless he shows up. And also, we don't get to see Sabra being a Sabra, however you say her name, being, a human in the sense of when she was talking about Bucky. A very I don't know a good way to say it, but she wanted that man. Like she was on timing for him. And it was just funny to have that little quip in there because there's plenty of those. Like it's still a Marvel movie. They're still gonna have their jokes,
Marvel still did their jokes really well in this one. Like it made me laugh a little bit. It's not like overly funny, but it's not like Thor: Love and Thunder where I was like, all right,
they're trying so hard.
We're trying too hard.
Yeah,
because Bucky was funny. Funny.
Yeah, for sure. And then what else? I think that's really just one of my favorite moments because it's like at that point he was down bad. Like his wingman got shot down, and
his wingman didn't even know that he fell out the sky. Or not him. That like War Machine got shot out the sky.
He shot him out the sky, or was it Vision? I think Vision shot him out the sky, right?
I think it was Vision.
Yeah, but Vision was on what's name team?
On Iron Man's team. But it's like even hearing like those conversations, it's like,
or no, Vision was on Cap's team.
Yeah,
Vision was on Cap's team.
Yeah, Vision's on Cap's team.
Yeah.
Dang, I forgot already.
It was.
I think you're right.
It was. 100%.
But it's like even seeing like these other heroes that get shot at the sky and fall, and then it's like this dude's like, you never got shot at the sky and fell, but like deep down, he's like, bro,
you don't even know.
You don't even know what we done been through. Like we all ain't like impervious to like scenarios like this. Like there's just a lot of good wrinkles in it.
Yep. So I just think this movie was like it did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah, it's you said it from the beginning. It's a mid movie. Stop trying to make it seem like it's worse than it is.
Yeah.
When you see mid, it's mid. Like
that's hilarious. I did like the global aspect to it too, because like it's Captain America, so you got to have that world stage type of feel to it, where it's like, okay, we don't get this treaty done, what's going to happen? Like there's little things that they add into it that makes it feel a lot bigger than like what it probably is, because if it was any bigger, somebody else might have pulled up to try to help her do something,
Yeah.
But
and it was weird seeing it was like Japan, India, France, and the United States. I was like, yo, the whole world about to be over there.
Exactly.
It was like, hey, yo, we gonna take all this, all right? Don't tell anybody else. Don't tell them Wakandans about this stuff. Like, I was like, yo.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's a lot. That's a lot to think about. That's a lot to think about. But not at the same time. Okay. Did we get into scores? I think that's all I got.
One last thing. What do you think about the Red Hulk?
Oh, I mean, I think it was
Harrison Ford
I
job.
think I think Harrison Ford was a better Thaddeus Ross or um I keep saying Thaddeus because I just like saying Thaddeus. Uh Thunderbolt
Thunderbolt
Ross.
Ross.
That's what I
Yeah.
wanted to say. I think it was a better Thunderbolt Ross than I was expecting. But I think it was just cool to see a Hulk hulking out again in the
Mm.
city. I think the momentum that he carried as far as how he was fighting was really good.
Yeah.
Um, and like how it was burning. He was burning. He was so hot. Like all his clothes was burning off instead of just ripping off because it's the radiation. It was a different kind of radiation. They never really got into what makes him red, which would have
Yeah.
been cool. But the fact that he exists is enough outside of him just like, you know, doing what he needed to do.
Mm.
But, even when I saw it, I was just like going into it, I was like, yeah, we probably done seen the best scenes already in the trailer.
Mm.
And, outside of the little murkiness of the rendering at some portions of it, I was just like, man, I thought y'all would have known how to deal with the Hulk by now, but throwing
Yeah, that
guns
was a big
and
question. Like,
throwing
come
guns
on.
and helicopters at him. I was like, y'all seen this movie? We've all seen this movie before. How this works?
Yeah.
You need
How do
somebody to
we
sing
not
a
have the
lullaby.
guns?
Like,
Yeah.
where's the lullaby? You know.
Like I was like,
So
bro, do we not have adamantium or not adamantium? Dang, it's old school. I can't even think about it no more.
what's
Vibranium bullets. The,
oh,
they
I don't
don't
think
got
they
none
make
of that,
those.
huh?
I don't think they make those.
I know, but it's kind of like, dang, y'all have no means to stop the Hulk from
I
hulking
mean,
out.
he had all the technology.
Who?
You know, Ross. Like in the Hulk movie, the Sonic cannons and stuff like that. Like
Yeah,
that's all they
I'm just
had,
like,
and they
bro.
just were not prepared. I just think
Yeah,
that they just
he's
were
the
not prepared.
president. They're in the middle of the White House.
Mm-hmm.
Man destroyed everything, and it's like,
Yeah,
y'all ain't got nothing for superhuman people. Like y'all got bullets. That's what you
that's it.
showed me. Yo.
That's it.
I was like, yo, yeah, start the Avengers back up, yo. Now,
Yeah. And
start it up.
even talking about the Avengers real quick, bro. Like it's gonna have to be the young Avengers, bro.
Yo, that roster is still looking weak.
But still, like him getting excited about, or not necessarily excited, but like pondering the question of like bringing the Avengers back together. He don't got emotion like that.
Yeah,
You know, he could put some feelers out, but for them to work at the same capacity that they was working at before, it's like, man, you need to start from the bottom.
mm,
Get the youngsters right first, next generation. Then you come in with the oversight and teaching them how to move and stuff like that. So I
like the
just think
leader of the Young Avengers type thing,
yeah,
guiding them.
we need Spidey. That's where I'm at with it. Like we need Spidey to run the Young Avengers, or who else could do it?
No one. It's gonna be Spidey or
Yeah,
Reed Richards just having the normal Avengers.
yeah. I don't know. Like I'm trying to think back to all the different shows. You got Hawkeye, Echo, Daredevil. Where's Daredevil? We need that show.
Mm.
Um, Miss Marvel. Yeah, like Spidey's the only one with real experience for real. Like at the Avenger level threat. So
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's where you start. But I think it was just like a fun thing to add into the movie. It's like, oh, we're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
get him with this one. I want you to start the Avengers. Oh,
Yeah.
he's turning a new leaf, y'all. Like, nah, that's cap. I found myself every time that is, dang, that is. Every time Thunderbolt Ross was saying something about like, bro, this man is so cap, bro. He is so cap, and y'all don't even know it. But yeah, that's what I think about Red Hulk, though.
Yeah. I feel it. It's just a lot of overlap where it's like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like no one can walk away without thinking that too.
How you feel about him getting to see his daughter again? at the end.
No, it's cool. It's cool. It feels like a movie thing. In the wrap up. I mean, to be honest, during the movie when he was talking to his daughter, I thought that was fake. I was like, "Yo, this
Yeah.
mastermind dude is playing him dirty." Like, yeah,
Dang.
you thought your daughter would call you loser and hang up or something.
Loser is crazy.
Yeah,
That's so funny, bro. But I was like, of course. When it happened, I was like, wow.
yeah. Like I
Even
said, like it's like it's still a Marvel movie, y'all. Like I don't know
yeah.
why did y'all not think the little sappy daughter story would come right back at the very end once he's in prison? Like,
I was like, dang, it's been a minute.
yeah.
I ain't seen this lady in so long. But yeah. All right, let's get into scores, bro. What do you got for Captain America: Brave New World? What's your score,
Yeah,
bro?
shockingly, I'm gonna give it a enjoyable 7.
Wow, so mid
Yeah,
means mid for you this time, or at least for me.
yeah. I think
Okay.
the story is not the strongest. It's not as intriguing, and
Mm-hmm.
it is like point A to point B to point C
Yeah.
to hulking out.
Mm-hmm.
And some characters are useless just to get the story going, and a lot of the espionage kind of falls off for I'm not gonna say generic Marvel-y villainy stuff, but we sacrifice half a espionage type movie to transition into more regular Marvel things.
Mm-hmm.
Uh Smart bad guy, muscly bad guy.
Yeah.
But I do like we get the answers of how strong is this Cap, kind of like what his motivations and battles that's gonna be going forward. Uh Bucky, what he's doing now.
Governor.
Governor. Uh and then we also get who's the new Falcon, what's going on Celestial Island. That was just finally an answer. We get introduced to adamantium finally, so it's not going to be shocking when it appears more and more this coming phase.
Yeah.
And I thought the Red Hulk was really cool on screen. I thought his scenes were awesome, and it hit close to home, seeing the White House, seeing the Rose Garden, seeing the cherry blossoms, seeing them ruin the monument again. Like that thing gonna be repaired the next time I see it.
I said,
Um,
nah, I ain't gonna say what I said. I ain't gonna say what I said. Bro.
and I thought the Falcon's last battle scene was pretty cool, and it was clear that he could not be the Hulk,
Yeah.
but it was cool to see him damage the Hulk.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm glad they didn't try to have him beat him.
yeah, and I think that's how I feel too.
Yeah.
They clearly knew like we can't let him beat him because now we under like uh
We're gonna nerf the Hulk even more.
yeah, oh they always do the Hulk dirty
Yeah.
and oh they're making this Cap better than Captain America. Like I didn't want any of that. So
Yeah.
it's a 7 mainly because the story is not the greatest, but it's
Mhm.
enjoyable because I think they did a pretty good job of introducing him and wrapping up a lot of stuff in a single movie when it could have been bad. But
Yeah.
how you feeling about this movie, G?
We keep it short and simple, bro. The John was mid, and I give it a 7 out of 10. I think for me, it met all of the I guess expectations. I wasn't super excited about a Red Hulk outside of just seeing a Hulk again. Um, I think for me, it really came down to okay, who are they really gonna be able to establish Sam Wilson as Cap outside of the show, and it feel like how it's supposed to feel? And I think they did a good job with that as far as everybody addressing him as Cap, everybody showing him the utmost respect. Like he got the people support now. I think you know Isaiah Bradley's storyline was it was sad, but it was okay, it's a necessary evil, essentially, to progress the story forward in a way that was you still have similar elements of Captain America movies in it, but it still felt um the same universe, essentially.
Yeah,
Where
yeah, definitely.
like in the show, it was a little bit more darker because of some of the characters that they chose to put in it, and as far as the everything ends up on a good note. This movie is more so on that side of it. Is there some portions of it's like where it's like, oh man, that's some super plot armor. You shoot at a country and they was like, okay, you shot at us. Let's just all, not shoot no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Captain America's here. Oh, he tried to help us. He tried to save us. All right, bet. I see now. Let's sign this treaty to get it done. So yes, there was some cope with that, but bar for bar, I think this was an enjoyable 7. I can't sit here and act like I was like, dang, this show was like not even what I was expecting. Like it was more so like, yeah, this is about right. This is about right. As far as the end credits go, I ain't like the end credits. I was like, y'all could have saved that. We didn't. That was nothing.
That was nothing, Burger. I was like,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, the others.
Yeah.
I was like, what? that was horrible.
I was like, bro, no way they just did that. But it's like, okay, like, start from the bottom. Now we here. You know what I'm saying? Or back here. I don't know. Depending on who you ask. But I'm excited to see more from Captain America and the Falcon. I think they're a good duo. Hopefully, we learn something else about him other than he's from Miami.
Miami, man.
And, he was rocking the U, not Florida State either.
Yeah, he was.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, ooh.
That's crazy.
How you feel about
That's
that?
crazy. Yeah. That's crazy.
We didn't even know where Sam went to school at. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm excited to see him build out his team and see where he goes from here, because he can literally pull up anywhere that they need him. And I want to see if they get the retractable wings, bro, or dual wings, whatever they can do. Because the way he pulled them off, I was just geeking at the fact that, like, whenever he gets his wings pulled off, he act like it hurt. It's like it'd be it's neuro tapped into him, like, so he has pain sensors or whatever. But the actual fights was dope. Like, I actually liked them.
Yeah. I definitely think the fights are gonna get stepped up as we go along.
Yeah,
because with the wings, you can definitely do more stuff.
Yeah, especially with the vibrator. It looked like he was still like learning the full extent of it, and he probably holding back too. Especially on the regular people.
Definitely.
But I guess like when he used it, it was like the moment to use it. So it's like that big moment, but it's like he could have been blasting this man all across the city, bro, all across the river. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Not a bad movie to start the year off.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, am I disappointed? Not really, because I was thinking I was about to get garbage, but
dang,
like yeah, I didn't have a lot of hopes for it, but
okay. But you say you saw the scores before it came out, before you saw it.
I saw 50s.
Yeah,
I was like, dang, really?
Yeah.
And I was watching it, and I was like, oh, wow. And then I walked out like,
oh,
nah, that was generic Marvel, like.
Yeah.
Like the feeling I walked out of like Ant-Man and the Wasp and Eternals, it was just so different. I was
worse.
Like, bro.
Yeah. It was way worse. It was like, what did we just watch?
Yeah, I just didn't get that feeling. And if it's because like, it is a simple storyline or it's just normal superhero-y.
Mm-hmm.
You get a 7 from me. It's like, hey, we can't really get worse than this. This is a baseline of a superhero movie, and could have been more, definitely, but it wasn't. But it's not like a freaking one of the worst Marvel movies I've ever seen. Because
is it something you can wait for streaming to watch? Yeah, but I wouldn't mind go seeing it in theaters. Like, it was just as good, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was.
It's like a weird in between there.
It was worth the 10 ball.
Hey,
matinee 10 ball. It was worth the matinee 10
mom was like 18.
But I'm happy for everybody that made this joint. I hope Like it did the numbers. I think from what I was seeing, like it topped the box score, but we'll see how it is week 2. You know,
Yeah, definitely.
but
I will not be going to see it again, but I'll wait for it to stream again, and maybe I'll have a different
I'm
taste and be
gonna
like, oh
have
yeah,
to. After watching this movie, bro, I was like, yo, I need to rewatch some Marvel movies, bro. There were
I
some
think that's the
things,
feel for me too, bro. Like I need to see
yeah,
these the ones I'm messing with right now. Like,
yeah.
let me rewatch that
You,
Eternals. Let me
you do a
rewatch
little
that
homework, bro.
because I'm re-remembering some of these movies. I'm like,
Yeah. Like,
that's
was
a
it
little
really
too
that
slow.
bad? Like,
Yeah,
was it really that good? Like,
because
come
we're about to get
on.
into it now. We're about to get into
Yeah.
Fantastic Four, and we gotta be prepared. Galactus is arriving.
It ain't gonna get serious till we see Doom, bro. That's how I feel.
And before we leave, Galactus will be on screen for exactly 2 minutes.
Yeah. It's not gonna be
Based on what
long,
we got
bro.
from the Red Hulk, we see the formula coming up.
Yeah, it's not gonna be long at all. It's gonna be like, I'm Galactus.
I'm Galactus.
I will consume your world.
Yo, that might
Oh,
be the
you know
end
what?
credit scene, the bonus scene.
You know what? I smell another world that I want to devour. I'm gonna go devour that one now.
Hey,
I'll be
I'm
back.
positive, bro. I'll be back.
I'll be
That
back.
might be the scene we see in the trailer. I'll be back.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. But let us know what y'all thought about Captain America: Brave New World in the comment section below. Did you hate it? Did you love it? Did you think it was mid? And Chris, what you geeked about, bro?
Ooh, tough one, tough one. I would say Severance, but I haven't even actually started watching it yet.
Bro, everybody's talking about that show and it's making me mad.
Yeah, I think there's like 4 episodes out now, so I'm ready to deep dive into it because it's a really awesome show. So I
Mm-hmm.
can't wait to watch that. Um, it's not really as much watching,
Mm-hmm.
but I got some mangas. I got some of
Mm.
that Chainsaw Man and that Dandadan.
Can you show us?
That
Show it real quick.
Dandadan,
Can you show us?
it's upstairs. It's upstairs.
Ah, never
Maybe
prepared.
I'll get it
It's
in
like
the
no.
background. Uh, but man, that Dandadan, I was
Da
at the
da 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 da
bookstore.
da.
I finished reading my 500-page book. I was quite upset. I was like,
Dang, it was one of
yo,
those.
it was one of those where it's like 2 years for another book to come out,
Mm,
and you losing me with this one. You losing me with this one. So I was like, let
dang,
me go
in
ahead
one
and
ear and out the other, huh?
definitely. And I was like, let me go get me a pick me up at the bookstore. So I was like, you know what?
Yeah,
Let me get that next edition of Donadon because I really want to know where they go from there because they left off at a wild spot. I was like, yo,
yeah,
you can't be stopping right there. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Uh, and I
A
was
wild
impressed. I was
house, bro.
impressed. Yeah,
Wild house.
I was impressed,
Oh
and I
yeah,
picked up
and
that.
Freak Man time. I forgot about that part too.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. Yeah, I was thinking about the house, but nah,
the
it was on
the
Freak Man time for sure.
the spot thing. I was like, yo, you
Yeah,
can't be stopping right here. We gotta get to a safe spot. We can't be.
right.
Uh, but I was real happy that I read ahead, and then I got the 2 editions of Chainsaw Man to pick back up from where the
Mm-hmm.
anime left off. And I ain't gonna lie, bro, I was happy with that too. I was like,
Okay. Okay.
dang, this is cool. And I know I texted you. Um, I was pretty geeked that watching the anime.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really read the manga like that. I used to for Naruto just to gain some information.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like
but
after the fact,
yeah,
but
but
doing it in real time is different.
yeah. So I pretty much rewatched. I reread
Mm-hmm.
uh part of the Chainsaw Man episode, and then I watched the episode fully,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just really interesting to see like 2 different how do you say it, like
POV.
media types? Yeah,
I don't know.
uh
Oh,
like
mediums.
mediums, like imagining it in my head how the scene is playing out in black and white, and then like
Mm-hmm.
actually watching it in animation. It's just so different reading and watching. Of course, I do like anime version way better. The
Mm.
sound, the
Really?
music, yeah, it adds a lot. Especially like the music.
I thought it was
Um,
the other way around a lot of time. People always say the books is always better.
I feel like if it's just words,
Okay.
you know, with the manga, seeing the what it looks like,
Yeah.
it's like, ooh, I wonder how like it in
Hmm.
depth it gets, and it's like seeing the angle, seeing how dark the background is, or how they're
Yeah.
fighting in the sunlight and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Uh, it was just really cool, and I was surprised to feel like I wasn't missing out as much if I did read and then rewatched, because it did kind of feel different. It was like, dang, oh, that was cool, that was cool. Um, but the jump surprises or the big reveals is just like crazy because I'm like, yo,
When
I
this
can't wait to
happened on
see it.
anime, and you
Yeah,
see it,
it's like
and
I
you
need
see
to
it on
see
anime,
this.
and then you're disappointed, and you're like everybody else. This is so terrible. I can't believe they're still making this. The manga was so much better. On page 997, this said it
Nah.
like this. That's
I
what
I
Chris is
might
gonna be.
be like that, but
Chris
it
gonna be
was so
like
cool,
that.
like flipping the page and being like, "Yo, oh my
You
gosh!"
say that now, but it's like, nah, I get it though, because like I said, like I have not been back in comics for a minute, but when I was reading comics, like if the movies and the shows could be half as fire as the comics and what we see in there, it'd be off the chain. Like the games get close. I will say that the games get
I feel it.
close.
I feel it.
Like for like Spider-Man, like Miles Morales, like games is pretty close, accurate. But we don't get a lot of those with every single property. So I
Yeah,
get the sentiment though. I get the sentiment. Okay.
but I'm pretty geeked about reading those. I mean, I only have
Mm.
one more edition of Don and On, but yeah, watching Severance. That's gonna be actually completed this week.
Mm.
Uh, but I'm pretty geeked about reading some mangas right now and getting that anime bag. But what you geeked about, G?
Uh, I'm in the middle of Inception. I was about to say Interstellar. I already finished Interstellar. And I'm starting to understand, like, as I'm watching these old movies and stuff like that, and it's old, but you know, you get what I'm saying. Um, is that you really got to be locked in when you're watching them. And a lot of times, because I'm streaming it, I treat it like it's a show and think I could walk away for a second and come back and it just be fine. And like I'll catch back up. And then I end up in like, bro, what is even going on? You know?
Definitely with Inception, bro.
Yeah. So like I remember when I first tried to watch it, I was very distracted. And I was like, bro, this is dumb. Like, this doesn't make no sense, bro. Why do people like this movie? So I was like, I'll watch it again another day. And I'm like right at the final act of
Oh my
like they
gosh.
in
That's
the
crazy.
dream. And I'm like, yo, all these people was in this movie I didn't even know. You know?
Mm,
Like Cillian Murphy, freaking Tom Hardy, Leonardo
yep.
DiCaprio. Like just like I'm like, yo, these is people like these is youngest, like these are heavy hitters and like I didn't even know back then, you know? So I'm in the middle of that right now. But I'm locking in on it. I'm locking in on it. And then solo leveling has been going crazy every single week, bruh. Like I seen a couple TikToks and a couple videos and stuff like that about just like, yo, solo leveling is really just aura farming. And I was like, yo, y'all are absolutely right. Because
Yeah.
it's like this man has not had to try for a long time. Like he be trying, but it's like when he do something, it's so low effort and it's effortless, and it's like, yo, you really thought you was stronger than me? Well, no, like I'm really like that. And then, um, even like when he's in the real world and he does something crazy, and everybody's just like, oh, like you know, it reminds me of Dragon Ball Z when youngins be fighting and it be boxing and it's like all you see is sound waves and stuff like that and everybody's just like like that was like a thing in Dragon Ball where it's like yo they was just lost for words, you know. So I've been loving solo leveling. And what else? I think the White Lotus came out with another season. It was about to start dropping. So I want to start that show. That's the next thing on my list. But yeah, outside of that, hit 700 subscribers on YouTube on my personal channel, and been fluctuating ever since. Like one day I'm 699, next day 700, next day 701. Like I'm just like, yo, let me stay above this, bro.
Yeah.
But I appreciate everybody that has been showing love, not only just on that channel, but on the podcast as well. I love Invincible. I can tell you that much. And I'm excited for the rest of the stuff we got coming up soon. Cause we got, bro, I was watching the previews, bro. Cause you know it's a million previews at the AMC. And there's some dope movies dropping soon. From like Novocaine to The Accountant 2 to like Ballerina. Something else. I didn't even see The Accountant 1 yet, but now I gotta watch The Accountant 1. And like I've heard of it, but I didn't go see it. There was something else too. I can't think of it. But yeah, Sinners. Sinners as well.
Yeah.
That's going to be crazy. So I'm super excited for, I think, March and April. Next few months is going to be good. Then it's showtime. Summer blockbuster.
And we got some good ones this summertime. I'm not gonna lie.
Just coming out, so it's gonna be a good year. Looking like it's gonna be a good year. And I think the Oscars drop in a couple of weeks, maybe a week or so. So we'll see if they, were up to snuff and got the right answers.
Yeah, exactly.
But
watch the Geek Awards.
Yeah, if you really want to know what's up, watch the Geek Awards, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Once again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more podcasts and videos like this. We'll see y'all next week. Stay geeked. Peace.
Later, y'all.